Hello. Okay, so today I'm going to go over continuing to polish the hammer and how I would go about doing that. So I'm going to go to File. Before I open my scene, I'm going to set my project. So File, Set Project. I'm going to click on the folder. So Tutorial 2. I'll hit Set. And now that I've done that, I'll go to File, Open Scene, and click on the last one, which isn't this one at the bottom. It's going to be the last version number, so 004. So I'll hit open. I'll click don't save because it's asking to save the untitled scene. And here we are. So, so what I'm going to do, like I did last time, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the information that I have here. So I have a handle that's very square-like. That's a problem. And then I also have edges that are really close together in an area that's going to be very um, round, right? So I'm going to take this edge, and I'll rotate around and also shift select these two edges as well. And I'm going to press R and scale it on the x-axis just to bring them further away from each other. Right there is good. I'm also going to scale it along the z-axis. It's going to look a little weird, but actually I'll do it later. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go into face mode and select the two sides of the handle. I'll go back to R to scale, and I'm going to press Z. I'm going to scale Z. So R to scale, and then click along the Z axis, which is blue, to round this area out a little bit more. So I'll look underneath so you can see the shape that's going on here. There we go. And now what I can do, since I have, if you look at right here, I have two edges, right? But they're not defining what's going on here, the shape that we have. So I'm going to take the long edge that's going down that line of symmetry and the opposite side. And I'm going to scale out along the z-axis. So I'll press R so you can see the z-axis. And I'm going to click along the blue cube. Click and drag. All right. Ooh. Hopefully you're amazed as much as I am. And I'm going to do the same thing throughout the rest of the hammer that I see needs more separation. So I'm going to take these vertices. I'm not going to do edges because these points here on the right hand side, 1 and 2, they're already far out. So I'm going to just take these a little bit more and scale along the x-axis for right now. They're still flat, right? They're still straight. And I will round that out later. Not a big deal. Okay. And next, what I'm going to do, yeah, I might as well just do it now. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, oops, not do that. I'll press F and zoom out a little. Z. The heck? Ah, there we go. Trying to zoom out here. There we go. I'm going to take the two side edges, W, and just bring them down along the y-axis. And I'll take the edge that's down the middle and bring it up a little bit. Not by much. And again, notice that I'm just moving one axis at a time here. Same thing, I'm going to select these two edges and these. So from here to here. and then on the other side as well. So all 8 edges here. I'm going to bring this slightly down. All right. Might take the face here as well and just scale it a little bit more. Shift R. Yeah, just because it's so big. All right. And I might do this as edges here as faces here as well. Just take these two and the two on the other side and just scale it a little bit more. Just so it's not as large as, or too large in comparison to um, what we have here. We do have the bottom edge that has to be adjusted as well. So I'll take the edges down the middle. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'll bring them down slightly. I'll take the ones on either side. So I selected all 8 of these. Just gonna bring them a little bit more up, and I'll scale it along the x-axis. Go. Do the same thing on the other side. So I selected these 8 edges that are on either side of the middle line. Just gonna scale it out a little bit, and then bring them down a little bit more. So I scaled along X and then moved along Y. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at this in reference to the um, reference image. So I'm gonna double click on this edge loop and just bring it down slightly more. Same thing with this one and this one. Okay. So next, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add edge loops down the handle, so that way I can bring and create the grip. So I'm gonna go to object mode, and I'm gonna insert several edge loops. So shift right click, insert edge loop, right here, right here, and then 1 and 2. And since this is already round, I can just scale it. I'm going to click on Q to select and double click on the edge loops and just scale it along the, let's try that again, double click, there we go. And scale along the Z axis here. Vertex, and drag select these vertices since they wouldn't be an edge loop. And then I'll add more at the top portion. So go to object mode, I'll add more edge loops right around here, and then I'll make one to mark where the orange meets the black. So I have an edge to define that. I'll add one right here, and I'll go ahead and scale. Press R. I might bring this up a little bit. I'll double click this edge loop. to scale. Oops. And scale along just the z-axis. And down here as well. Scale along z. All right. All right, it's coming along. All right, so now that I have that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add edge loops along the fork of the hammer. Now I have to do this looking at the top view, or add one. Yeah, the top view is probably going to be the best way because I can't see what's behind, and there's going to be two sides or two sections that need the edge loops. So, well, there will be one here, so I'll just go ahead and add that to object mode. Shift right click, insert edge loop. I'll click right here. So that's one. And then the next one, I'll zoom in. It'll let me know. Insert edge loop. May have to do it in perspective mode. It's not letting me. Sometimes screen recording and using Maya, the cameras will stop working. So I'm going to add one here. I'm going to have to just approximate here. That's pretty spot on. So I'm adding one in between each section of the fork. Okay, that's pretty good. So I'll go ahead and I'll not add, but I'll adjust the vertices. So I'll go into vertex mode, just drag select these. So I'll zoom in just in this section. So again, I'm making box selections because it's going to make it easier to select things that are in the back. Box select. Box select here. And I'm just moving them. I might make this slant a little bit. Okay. I might add, there we go. I might add one more in between here because this is a little bit more on the beveled side. So I'll shift right click. Actually, go into object mode. Shift right click, insert edge loop. There we go. And I'll go into vertex mode and drag select these. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for this arc of the hammer just to have more breakdowns. So I'll go into object mode, insert edge loop, and I'll insert one here, one, like basically one in between each area. There we go. And so hopefully this will make, I'll double click, I'll scale along the center. Double click. So that way I'm scaling height and width. And again, you can still adjust by moving these if need be. Sometimes you might have to. I'm going to drag select these vertices here, bring this more there. go into edge mode again and just scale these a little bit. See how this is looking. Okay, there's a little irregularity there. So I can adjust looking at the vertices because that's where I'm seeing it mostly. So I'll drag select here and drag select here. Bring this up, bring this up. There we go. I'll see how it looks in the top view, see if that's looking well. Nice. All right, it's coming along for the most part. So I'll do the same thing in this section of the hammer where it's a lot of straight lines. So I'll go to object mode, spacebar here, shift right click, insert edge loop again, and I'll click on 2 edge loops here. All right, and so I'll double click and press Q. I'll press Q and double click, and then I'll scale along the z-axis mostly. Same thing here, double click, scale. And now what I might do is take the vertices that are here, this corner, because it's pinching now, this corner, drag it back, this corner, and this corner. And I'm looking at it in reference to the side view just to see how the shape is looking. Same thing here, the bottom. Actually, that's decent. Might just move this a little bit back. All right. So I'll drag select this vertex here and just bring it a little up to align with that curve. There we go. Do the same thing in the back. Ah, undo that. I like dragged it by mistake. All right. So I'll select these back vertices, both of them, and I'm going to move them positive Z. Actually, positive, which direction is that? Yeah, positive Z. All right. Okay, that's looking better. All right, so I'm going to pause the video, and that way you have like one small section, so it's not too long.